everyone, Melissa Crook here, design team member for Bello's Designs. Today we're going to be making our first tag. I have created this one that's not so much like a tag because I'm going to use it as my first insert in our tag pocket book. So this is going to go right inside the tag pocket book. Now if you don't know what a tag pocket book is, I have a video where I show how exactly step by step how to make this little book. So please watch that video. And this is going to be our first page. So this is going to go right inside of here. And then I'm going to make a tag that's identical to fit right inside of this little pocket. So it'll just go right inside there. So anyways, for today's tag, this is using the new compass from Lavinia Stamps, some sprays, some string, and some embossing powder. So for the supplies that you will need, we're using the new large compass, LAV 809, the Fairy Towns, LAV 768, the new key, this is the small key, LAV 806, and secrets are hidden in the most unlikely places. Secrets are hidden is the name of the stamp, and it's LAV 346. You will also need some spray inks. Today I am using Distress Oxide and Uncharted Mariner, Twisted Citron. I have just spray stain. This is Walnut stain, and I'm using Lavinia Mystical's Mica infused spray. This is Chestnut Bay. For stamping, we're going to be using VersaFine Clair and Nocturne and our VersaMark watermark stamp. You'll need a small little brush. This is a Lavinia Stamps number 3 stencil brush. You'll need your paper. Which I have. Okay, so I have already pre-cut my cards down, so I'm using a piece of black for a matte and a piece of Multifarious that I have cut 3 by 5. I'm going to use some foam tape. I have another piece of Multifarious card. I find that it is much easier to stamp and then die cut, and I am just using a Sizzix circle die that fits the stamp perfectly and is 3 1/4 inch circle. So 3 1/4 on the outside diameter. You will need some Wow Ultra Opaque Bright White Superfine embossing powder. You'll need your embossing gun. I'm using some thread just for some dimension. We'll need our stamping platform, a hole punch. That's where I need my hole punch, and I've just got some string here that we will make a tie for a tag. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Set all this off to the side. And we are going to start with our 2 pieces of paper, Multifarious card, and we're going to put that in. Oh yes, and you will need a splat box. Splat box is necessary for sprays because they go everywhere. So I'm going to put both in. And my spray's ready. Just taking the lids off. Okay, so we're going to take our Uncharted Mariner Distress Oxide and give 2 sprays to each one. And then with a twisted citron, the walnut stain. And I'm going to hit this one more time with some blue, one more time with some green. Oops. Just give that lots of variation. Really doesn't matter the order you do it in. And then I have my mica spray, give that a good shake. And give this a couple spritzes. So now what I like to do is with that, just put your tag inside your box and let it kind of run. So it's at an angle, and then I'm going to hit it with my spray bottle. And that's just going to let that ink run a bit. Just gives it some different texture. I'm gonna do this one. So you can see it just kind of running, and I like to just let it do it on its own. Till it starts pulling up at the bottom. And then just grab a paper towel and give that a bit of a blot. The same thing on the tag, just a bit of a blot, and that's going to give you some more lines with your paper towel. And now you can just let this sit off to the side and let them completely dry. But seeing how it is, we're doing a video, we don't have time for that. We're also going to just hit it with our heat tool and speed that up. Okay, now after our cards are completely dry, we're going to take our stamp. Please make sure that your card is completely dry or it will not stamp correctly. If you can tell, I have stamped it right there. It wasn't dry, didn't work, so I re-dried it. But I am just going to stamp over it. Don't think you're going to see it anyways. Okay. So, good dry background. Stamp and press. We're going to use the VersaMark. Give that a good coat. So a lot of details in this stamp. Good press and let that soak in onto the paper. That's better. And we'll do our stamp real quick, right? So now with a scrap piece of paper, just to be able to collect leftover powder. And if you get some, you can just take a fine brush and carefully just wipe it off the edges there. Back into the pot. And now we will heat set. we have our stamped image, and now we're going to take our circle die cut, and this is going to go right perfectly around it to where you can see all of the north, south, east, west. And it helps to take a bit of very low tack tape to hold that in place, just so it doesn't slide. And I am going to go to my die cut machine and cut this out. I will be right back. Okay, now that that has done, we'll just pull this Sweet Puppy stencil tape off. Ooh. And there is our compass. Put that down. So now for this piece, we're going to use that for our secrets are hidden, and then we will just cut that with some scissors. Now my sample, I embossed this in gold to just kind of bring in, but I want my tag to be more layered. So I'm going to stamp that with the VersaFine Clair Nocturne. And stamp that down. And I do think I will go ahead and emboss that in gold. So I have Wow Metallic Gold Rich, and I am going to just heat emboss that real quick. I will add that to my supply list. Sorry I didn't mention it at the beginning. This is an optional. You could just stamp it in black. It does look fine, but just want to see what it's going to look like in gold. So I don't know if catch the light. Very shimmery. Okay. So now with our tag, give that a little bit of a straighten up. Okay. We're going to take our stamping platform again. And with the sign stamp, the Fairy Towns, we're going to place that there, kind of off to the side, random spot. Ink up with Nocturne. And then with the key, I'm going to stamp that there. Also using the Nocturne again. Give that a good press. So now you have the option of either leaving the words, I'll put that about there, just going to hang off a little bit. You could either stamp the words or cut out from your piece of paper, and you can either have it like this, I don't know. No. So, changed my mind again. And go back to my original idea. So now we're going to take our stamping platform, our tag, and we're just going to go ahead and stamp our words right onto the tag. Right about there. I might heat emboss on the tag instead of on the side. Yep, I'm gonna do it. So so I'm going to heat emboss this, but I want this to make sure that this is dry. Because you can stamp with the VersaFine Clair Nocturne. If it is not dry, your embossing powder will stick to it. So we're just going to layer that right there on there. Ink up with the Nocturne. Give that a good press. Good. And now we will heat emboss with our gold. Okay, and then we're going to take some string. Oops, sorry about that. So we're just going to take our string like this and just kind of wad it up loosely. Actually, easiest thing to do is actually just put it on your tag. After, take some foam tape. And then make sure all your edges are on the inside. Then you can just kind of lay it down on your tape, making sure you have edges hanging over. I'm putting north on the up. Then what I like to do is take my mat, and I have embossing powder all over, and I'm going to glue this down . With a hole punch, go through both of them at the same time. That way you know that they are together and centered. With our piece of fancy string, find both ends, make a loop, double it. So you take your double loops through your hole. And then with the one that is folded over, run that back through. So I'm going to just use my little tool to keep them together. Make your loop. The one that is looped, pull through, leave your other two dangling, and pull tight. Then you can trim these edges if you want. And then you have a nice little tie tag. And so then we're going to take our book. I'm going to adhere my first card, which is my example for my tag. And you can make them tags both exactly the same way and then glue them on, or you can make them all different. But I am just going to use mine as tags. And I'm going to keep my sample the same on the outside, so I can keep my tags on the inside of the holder. So you probably need to give that a few minutes to dry. And then you can insert your tag. And leave it a little bit long so you can see that you could pull it out. And just like that. So there is the tag that we made today to start our journey on our tag book. So I hope you enjoyed this little tag today. If you have any comments or questions or anything, please leave them in the box below and I will comment back. Or you can also follow us on our Facebook groups. We have two: Bello's Designs Lounge, retailer of Lavinia stamps for everything Lavinia, or we have Bello's Designs a la carte for everything else that Patty sells at DeBellosDesigns.com, such as Sweet Poppy stencils, Nellie's Choice, cardio, and many more items. So thank Thank you all. Have a great day. We'll see you real soon with some more tags.